Joe Torre is joining us on the show again. Joe, how did we get started where we were moving on to add extra replay?
Well, the commissioner, I think we all thought it was let's just do this and do that and just live with the fact that the game has been imperfect for all these years and continue that way. The thing that concerned me, Dan, was, and I know I've called attention, and then pardon me, I'm sitting in the middle of Manhattan here, but, last year in the postseason when we had to play at second base at the stadium and, our umpire missed it, he was sort of on the run, he missed the call. And I just sensed there was more concern about the missed call, even though it didn't impact the game, than the game itself. So, our game is too good to have people talking about a play that was missed than the game itself. So we're looking at it. Again, we're not going to have a knee-jerk reaction and create something that's not going to be able to work with the game. And I think the biggest headache for us is going to be how much of it do we want to do, because if you tend to stop the game all the time, it's going to lose the charm, I think.
Your reaction to that finish in the A's-Indians game where a home run on replay but ruled a double even after the replay, and then baseball came out and said that Angel Hernandez and his crew made a mistake there.
Right. Yeah, well, again, it's funny because, when you go out even among the public and, friends and, because of all the chatter about it, everybody figures they have a simple solution. Like, let's just put two guys up in the booth and have them look at it, and then you wouldn't have any plays that were missed. Well, we had three guys looking at the video, and we missed it. So there's nothing that's going to be perfect. And, yeah, we missed that call. And it's unfortunate, but, over the years that we've had this replay system, it's the first one we've missed. So, I guess the percentages are good, even though you'd like it to be perfect.
What do you make of Peter Gammon saying that he thought it was an act of defiance by Angel Hernandez, that you had replay, he's not a fan of it, and decided to stick with his call?
Well, I haven't talked to Peter since then. It surprises me a little bit because Peter certainly has been a student of the game all these years, and most of the time he's been the voice of reason. But I feel badly that he felt that way about Angel. Angel's had some issues. I had issues with Angel when I was a manager. But the one thing about him, he tries to do the right thing for baseball. Even sometimes, he looks like a little bit like not a hard head, but just very stubborn and making sure that he gets everything right and precise. But I certainly can't agree with Peter in his evaluation.
He's Joe Torre, the Major League Baseball Vice President of Baseball Operations, joining us from New York. Dan Patrick Show. What about a nerve center, Joe, where you actually you almost made it part of the game if you went to the nerve center like hockey has to review goals, where you go in there, make it part of the broadcast, where we're going inside to see what you see, the decision that's made?
Well, Peter Woodfork, who's in our department and who's been spending many, many hours. I know he spent time with the NFL, going to Giant games over there in New Jersey and sitting in the truck with the replay. And we certainly have sat, we've talked with all the sports about it. Our sport is a little bit different than the other ones because we could play up to 15 games a day, and technology is certainly important. And the one thing we could not have is a hiccup. Saying, oh, we lost our connection. Oh, my God, that'd be the worst thing in the world because our game is, it just wouldn't be a level playing field. So, we've tested a lot of technology. We continue to test technology. I was in Vegas, even though I like going to Vegas, I was working, to look at, doing a technology show a few months ago, and Joe Garagiola and I looked at some options for us. We think that technology can serve us. And I think it's up to John Sherholtz and Tony La Russa and myself to make a recommendation that really makes sense for the game. Because I think, again, the game is imperfect. I think we have to allow for, bang plays at first base. If you start replaying all of those, I mean, nobody's going to be interested in the game because we're going to really take away from the rhythm of it.
What is off limits for replay, in your opinion?
Balls and strikes. I mean, that's from the time I started playing this game, and the game was alive long before me. That's always been something that the umpire's eye sees, and the issue with balls and strikes has to still be left to the umpires, and our percentages, because we obviously evaluate and we rate every single game, every single umpire. We're the percentages tell us we're right 95% of the time. So that's we're not going to mess with that.
What about that there's only a certain number of years that you can umpire? Or is there, because people talk about replay, and I said, well, can you make better umpires? What is easier to do? More replay or actually have better umpires to begin with?
Well, better umpires, that's tough. I think I had my viewpoint of umpires as a player and, of course, as a young manager. And then as I got a little bit older and did the managing stuff, I started getting a sense of, apathy feeling for the umpires, that knowing they have a tough job to do, especially with the expectations and the fact that, when there's a play missed, it's always highlighted, which is, of course, that play, on the home run last week, it calls all kinds of attention, but that doesn't mean the umpiring's bad. And since I've been working with them for 3 years, the thing that I have really appreciated is the passion with which they do their job and how excited they are. Because I'm in that umpire's room every game in the postseason, how excited they are when they know they've had a good game. And how miserable they are when they know they come in and like in Jeff Nelson's case at the Yankee Stadium last year, and he said, I screwed it up, didn't I? It kills them. It kills us. So I don't think we necessarily need to change umpires. I think, we're looking into how to, sort of make it development a little more consistent, and the fact that, we have at any time during the year a dozen minor league umpires up because, we have 68 full-time umpires, and there's, vacations, there's injuries, so we always have a lot of fill-in guys. And, umpires take development. And then, we even have, over the last number of years, have gone to the armed services and giving them an opportunity to have a career when they get out of the armed services to be an umpire. So we provide clinics for the servicemen also and women.
Before I let you go, I was looking at your resume for acting, and I mean, pretty good. Cosby Show, Spin City, Analyze That, Sesame Street, Castle, Gary Unmarried. Did you always played yourself on those, didn't you?
Yeah, I know. My wife keeps saying, she said, I can't wait for somebody to discover you to play that gangster on so I'm not sure how to take that, but she keeps insisting, and she's not going to be happy until it happens. So.
Were you nervous? Like if you were comparing nerves to a World Series game to going on the Cosby Show, at the time, biggest show in America?
You are nervous until you get there, until you realize how relaxed the set is. And, of course, if Bill Cosby can't relax you, I don't know who could. And Michael J. Fox on Spin City was great. But, and to me, meeting De Niro was really the tops. Billy Crystal and I have been friends for years. But when I did Analyze That was pretty cool. I mean, we was Gallagher Steakhouse and walked in and that's when Robert De Niro sort of hinted that I should fix the game so he could win a bet. That type of thing.
De Niro, Yankee fan?
De Niro's not really a baseball fan, and he's. He has young children, and they'll play soccer and stuff. But he's not really a baseball fan, even though we agitate him, or Billy did, and I sort of caught on to it. And he'll always go along with the joke. Oh yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan, but he really doesn't go to baseball games.
More intimidating, De Niro or Mariano?
Well, if I'm a hitter, it's Mariano. There's no question about it. But, if you're alongside of them, either one of them are great.
Thank you for joining us, Joe. We appreciate it.
Dan, it's always a pleasure.
All right, Joe Torre, Major League Baseball Vice President of Baseball Ops.